So we're working with Regent Park and with arts and social innovation. And our team concept was tap into your local community. It was connecting communities through dynamic communication technology. So we're going to start our presentation with just a short video. So we're working with Regent Park. So Regent Park is, it's located here in Toronto. It was originally built on the Garden City model as a transitional community. But the result has been over the last 50 years that it's been really inward-looking and isolated from the rest of the city. This area is like ethnically diverse and culture diverse, but it's known for crime, poverty, and low rate of employment. But yet it has a strong sense of cultural identity and cultural community. So, in 2005, Regent Park was decided that they wanted to do a revitalization, which meant it was an initiative from the city and from the developer and the government and also community partners, focusing on rebuilding the neighborhood, the entire neighborhood. So destroying all the old social housing units and introducing social housing as well as market housing. This meant turning what was solely a social housing development to a self-sufficient, mixed income and multi-use community, where 60% is market and 40% is social housing, where before it was 100% social housing. But the revitalization has had some adverse kind of effects, and this is what we wanted to kind of look at in terms of culture, cultural sustainability, and cultural connection. So these are our community challenges that we kind of identified. So while there is a mandate for social engagement, the fact that all these buildings have been destroyed has created social and physical upheaval through displacement. But community organizers and NGOs are working within the area and providing social and cultural services, and new spaces are being built. So there's a new aquatic center, a new center for arts and culture, a center of learning, all these different things have been built. But because there's been this upheaval, current services and community stakeholders and residents really lack the ability to communicate with each other, and the awareness of these services is really quite low. So let's meet Alinta. Again, she was the star of our video at the beginning.
My name is Linta, I'm 11 years old. I've lived in Regent Park all my life. You can't just guess that Regent Park is like a bad place to live in. It's good because everything's near beside you. Some people like in Scarborough, they have to like drive a car to go there to school. But here you can just walk in 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
So what's the sense that we get from her? That she's really an active user of the social space. She wants to be active in her own community, as well as possibly others. She's like grown up here in Canada, and she wants to connect with the services that are in her neighborhood. So how do we get Linta to connect? And that's where and make sure that she stays within the community and doesn't leave Regent Park, grows up there and wants to continue to live there. So how do we connect her? And this is where our big idea comes in. So we want to create a network of services. So how do we do that? Our idea is TAP. So TAP is our interactive dynamic network that connects people with each other through social and cultural services. And what is it? It's a system of social community interaction boards. It provides dynamic information about social and local services in the community. There are import portals in amongst themselves for interaction and feedback, and they can be creative spaces. So what's the result of that? TAP will foster service awareness, community interaction, and feedback, and community ownership and pride by connecting people. So how do we do this, and how do we roll out the system of interactive community boards? Well, first what we wanted to do was map the services, the new and current services that are offered at Regent Park. These are represented in green. And the key insight for us is that the resources are disjunct from existing and newly built housing units as the neighborhood is going through these 15 years of revitalization. So everything that is almost in the orange color, hasn't even been built yet. So there are existing units there now, but they're going to be razed to the ground, and new units are going to be built. So where are we going to place these interactive units, and what are they going to look like? So first, we identified routes of high traffic for both natural pedestrian traffic, cars, and mapped the transit routes, so that we're able to place the most effective points critical for our new TAP units. We wanted to phase the program, so the units are placed first in the first phase of the development, then in the second phase, then in the third, fourth, and fifth phases. And that future installation of the units are within the building plans for the developer. So the units are modular and they're scalable. 2 minutes? Okay. So they include space to display information, but may also include like a slide output so that people can interact with the units themselves. So this is examples. So I think this is the most important part, like what's the information that's displayed? We wanted to display information that is not only service-based, that is output, but you can also input information into it. Hence they have the interactivity, and that they can be creative spaces among themselves. Examples being that they could be digital finger painting, a digital piano, or art share between residents. So we did a feasibility study, and probably the panel will have questions about how this can actually be implemented, and we will give comments about it in terms of our questions, but just a short run through. It's like initially run from within the Center of Social Innovation with that Daniel Spectrum. Probably would require 2 employees, and there will be technological requirements. We need to have an integration plan for future units in the residential spaces, and a funding model that is self-sufficient, flexible, and that's community-based. Meaning it's probably like a public-private partnership that the whole revitalization has been based on, and that revenue can probably be generated from the advertising space that's available on the units. So what are our measures of success? It's a cultural program, so we want to make sure that awareness is increased. That's probably from attendance levels at events, existing events and future events. And because the units themselves are interactive, they are themselves information gathering sources that provide engagement metrics. Just like if you go on the internet, all the information that you input in terms of like using Google, that's all metrics that are established. This program is scalable, so we want to make sure, because the units are, again, are interactive, we can take that information about where to place future locations of them, even to the point where maybe there's so much information that's being gathered and being outputted that you create a research center that's within our video as well. So what are deliverables? It offers dynamic real-time information about services, encourages community involvement and cultural sharing, and connects communities together. Thank you very much.